Welcome to In Case You Missed It, real late news for January 2026. Your one-stop video for all new movies and TV shows on streaming and from the theaters, while they still exist. Netflix starts with People We Meet on Vacation, Poppy Wants to See the World, Alex Wants to Stay Home with a Book, and somehow they're best friends. For 10 years they've taken one summer trip together, which is adorable or a red flag, depending on how you feel about emotional boundaries. In The Rip, a group of Miami cops stumbles onto a hidden stash of millions in cash, and shockingly this immediately destroys whatever trust they had left. As word spreads, everyone starts wondering who's honest, who's lying, and who's already Googling
how to get away with murder.
The Big Fake brings us to 1970s Rome. Tony arrives dreaming of becoming a great artist. Instead, he becomes the greatest forger of all time, proving once again that if you can't make art, you can always fake it until you make it. In Cosmic Princess Cayuga, Iroha is a busy 17-year-old juggling school and part-time jobs. Then a mysterious moon girl crash lands into her life, because apparently teenagers weren't stressed enough already. SNL's Marcelo Hernandez debuts his Netflix special, talking about Latino family chaos, dance battles, and the kind of life lessons only a mom with a zero filter can deliver. Maria's teen pregnancy derails her dream of becoming a teacher and defying destiny, but she refuses to give up, fighting for women's rights and a future that doesn't involve everyone telling her what she can't do. Agatha Christie's Seven Dials travels to 1925, where a harmless prank at a country house party turns into a murder mystery. Lady Bundle Brent jumps into the investigation, because apparently the police in Christie stories are just there for decoration. In His and Hers, a journalist returns home to investigate a murder and immediately clashes with a detective who seems allergic to cooperation. Two sides, one crime, and at least one person lying through their teeth. Three sisters try to keep their family's figure skating legacy alive in Finding Her Edge. Adriana trains with a new partner while still hung up on her ex-partner, and now she's faking a romance for sponsorships. Honestly, the Olympics should give medals for drama. Sandakan, a Malaysian pirate, battles British forces with his loyal crew, and somehow finds the time to fall in love with an English-Italian aristocrat. It's colonialism, but with romance. Bert Kreischer attempts to blend into Beverly Hills society in Free Bert, while his daughters attend an elite private school. Spoiler, he does not blend in. In Love from 9 to 5, two co-workers compete for the CEO job at an underwear company, because of course they do. And naturally, romance shows up to complicate everything. HR is going to have a field day. Shutter brings us Mother of Flies. A young woman facing a deadly diagnosis turns to a witch in the woods for help, and as always, the magical cure comes with side effects your doctor definitely did not warn you about. HBO Max features Mel Brooks, the 99-year-old man, a look back at the life and career of Mel Brooks, writer, director, producer, comedy legend, and the only 99-year-old who can still roast you without taking a breath. And A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is set 100 years before Game of Thrones. Sir Duncan the Tall and his squire Egg wander Westeros during the Targaryen era. Dragons are mostly gone, but the family drama is still thriving. Star Trek Starfleet Academy is on Paramount+. A new class of cadets trains to become Starfleet officers while juggling friendships, rivalries, romance, and a mysterious threat. So basically college, but with phasers. Peacock goes to 1970s Moscow, where two secretaries at the American Embassy become CIA operatives in ponies. After their husbands are killed, they uncover a Cold War conspiracy, proving that sometimes the best spies are ones who were just trying to finish their paperwork. After their father's suspicious death, half-brothers Johnny and James reunite in The Wrecking Crew on Prime Video. As they dig deeper, they uncover secrets that could destroy their family, because nothing says bonding like a conspiracy. Hulu has 3 shows. In Best Medicine, a brilliant but socially disastrous surgeon leaves Boston for a small town from his childhood. He's great at saving lives, terrible at talking to people, and even worse at hiding his phobias. Memory of a Killer finds hitman Angelo developing early onset Alzheimer's, which is bad for anyone, but especially bad for someone whose job requires remembering who to kill. In The Beauty, partners Cooper and Jordan investigate an STD that makes people more attractive but also kills them, which feels like something the government would absolutely mishandle, and they do. On Disney Plus, actor Simon Williams tries to balance his personal life, his secret superpowers, and his dream role on Wonder Man, while a shady actor turned government spy uses him to save his own career. It's Hollywood, baby. Starz has The Nowhere Man. A traumatized ex-soldier witnesses a home invasion and gets pulled back into violence, because apparently retirement is not an option in action movies. After a military disaster, the dead rise, and they're not friendly. Ava searches for her missing husband, but what she finds is much worse than marital problems in We Bury the Dead. The Garrity family leaves the safety of the Greenland bunker and crosses a frozen, destroyed Europe in search of a new home in Greenland 2 Migration. So basically, apocalyptic family road trip. A tropical vacation turns into a nightmare as a group of friends faces primal horror and the kind of survival scenario that ruins group chats forever in Primate. 28 years later returns with the Bone Temple. Spike joins Jimmy Crystal's mainland gang, while Dr. Kelson discovers something that could change the world. So yes, things are still going great in the 28 Days Later universe. In Charlie the Wonder Dog, he gets abducted by aliens, gains superpowers, and fights an evil cat threatening humanity. Finally, cinema asks the important question: what if Air Bud was an animated sci-fi? All You Need Is Kill brings us a young woman stuck in a time loop during an alien invasion. She keeps dying until she meets a shy guy stuck in the same loop. It's like Groundhog Day, but with way more explosions. A small-town musician goes viral and tries to break into the Mexican-American music scene in Clica. Fame, ambition, and at least one cousin asking for concert tickets. After her father's death, Helen forms an unlikely bond with the stubborn hawk named Mabel in H is for Hawk. Emotional healing, but with talents. Mercy brings us a detective accused of killing his wife, and he has 90 minutes to prove his innocence to an AI judge. So yes, the future is terrifying. In Return to Silent Hill, a man receives a letter from his lost love and returns to Silent Hill, a town that's somehow even worse than he remembers. Iron Lung is from YouTuber Markiplier. After the quiet rapture, a convict explores a blood ocean on a desolate moon in a tiny submarine. It's claustrophobic, creepy, and absolutely not for anyone who hates small spaces. In Send Help, an employee and her nightmare boss survive a plane crash and end up stranded on an island, because nothing builds teamwork like mutual desperation. A recluse on a remote Scottish island rescues a girl from the sea in Shelter, triggering a chain of events that forces him to confront his past, and probably the weather. A father hides his daughter on an island to keep her safe in Worldbreaker, while preparing her for the battles ahead. Another apocalyptic parenting story. Write this down. After a traumatic childhood, a woman dives into competitive swimming in the chronology of water, which includes messy relationships and addiction before finding her voice through writing. As their marriage falls apart, Alex turns to the New York comedy scene in Is This Thing On?, while Tess reevaluates her sacrifices. Divorce, but with open mics. A modern Chicago's gangster lifestyle mirrors the drastic repentant story of the 4th century saint in Moses the Black. Crime, redemption, and probably not a lot of sermons. And 2 trailers that I watched that I'm looking forward to seeing the movies for are My Neighbor Adolf. In 1960 South America, a lonely Holocaust survivor becomes convinced his new neighbor is Adolf Hitler. When no one believes him, he launches his own investigation, because sometimes paranoia is just good research. In a private life, a psychiatrist investigates the death of her patient, convinced it was murder. Because nothing says healthy work-life balance like doing your own homicide detective work. In case you missed it, this has been Real Late News for January 2026. See you in February.